Good morning, everyone. My name is Mohit Ali Khan, and I will be hosting this podcast for today. Today, we've got an honorable guest with us who is from the UK. Sir, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's Alistair Hayward, and I'm the Chief Commercial Officer for Avantis Education Limited from the UK.
Sir, can you tell us a bit about your background in the UK?
So my background has always been in sales and marketing. So I've worked for some large organisations like Xerox, the photocopier company, Hewlett-Packard for a number of years, and then I ended up in the education sector through a TV company in the UK called Granada, who had a education content division. Then I worked for 15 years for a company called Promethean. So Promethean are the number one provider of interactive displays for K-12 education.
So you're investing so much in education. Do you expect something to come back in return in the next 10 to 15 years?
You mean personally?
No, just for the company.
Yeah, as a company, sorry, yeah. It works on various levels. At the highest level, you want to have an impact. Yeah. You want to help students attain better grades, better outcomes. Okay. Above all, you want to make them engaged and enjoy their experience. With virtual reality and extended reality, it's probably more rewarding because it's a completely different and very, very new technology. It's immersive and it's experiential. So, for example, a young man such as yourself in Islamabad can be in a scene in London. Mm. You could be in the sea swimming with dolphins, swimming with sharks. So there's an experiential element to it that makes it a little bit different. It's a new emerging technology. It's not ubiquitous, and by ubiquitous, I mean that it's not in every classroom. Yeah. It will be in probably 1 or 2 per school, is what we estimate. And they've shared around in terms of, we don't recommend that you would use virtual reality for an hour or a whole lesson. It's very much about a short and sharp experience, and then assessments around it, and teachers can ask questions, or it can just be experiential. And then there are other benefits for special educational needs students who it's proven that this technology enables them to work in a calmer environment, in a more stimulating environment. So it has a broad set of applications.
So you're from the UK, you studied the educational system, and now you've come to Pakistan to invest in the education system over here, and you also implemented the VR, virtual reality education and the technology. So what's the difference between the education system of UK and Pakistan currently, and what do you expect the educational system of Pakistan to be in the next 10 to 15 years?
It's a great question. Your last piece, I find it very difficult to answer. I'm not an expert on the Pakistani curriculum and the aims and objectives. However, what we do see in the UK is a very old and established educational system. It's been around a long time. It's usually the first to adopt technology. So interactive technology was generated first in the UK. Broadband was rolled out nationally in the UK, content and learning management systems also. And that was a result of a government that decided from a top-down approach to invest in education and to invest in education technology for every school. And therefore, adoption of technology was very, very rapid. So what we've seen in a number of other countries, so we talk about the ASEAN region, if you talk about Asia Pacific, is a much slower adoption of technology. So I think that you would find that maybe 10 years ago, there was very little technology in Pakistan schools. Coming out of your beautiful school today, you were awash with technology. The partnership element of what you're doing here is very special. You're partnering with Google, for example. You're partnering with Avantis Education through ISESCO. And that will help rapidly drive the rollout and deployment of technology and the adoption. So what I would say, in answer to the first part of your question, I think the moving the dial, if you like, as a term, in the UK will be very, very difficult, because there's been so much adoption, there's so much technology, and one might question whether all of it is being used to its full potential. What I see in Pakistan over the next well, 5 years, I wouldn't even look 10 to 15. The next 5 years will be a rapid adoption of technology, and you will see a dial being moved when you look at the PISA rankings, and the PISA rankings are pretty important to the health of a nation's education, but also in the future, its GDP.
So can you tell us the level of competition at the moment in the world in AI or VR, and what's it going to be in the next 10 to 15 years?
Okay, so once again, I think looking 10 to 15 is that's a quantum, if I'm honest.
5 years.
But in the category we're in, we've seen recently Apple have entered the marketplace. You have Meta have their own products. Google have had their own products and moved away from the marketplace. So it's a very, very emerging technology. So, but what we're seeing is exponential growth. So once again, ubiquity. If one was in every single classroom, won't happen. Our aim is to get one in every school globally, and we're doing very well indeed. And some of the countries we're doing very well in are ones that you wouldn't ordinarily think of. So Bulgaria, Romania, Korea are very, very early adopters of this technology. So in terms of VR, we see just growth, just exponential growth, and we very much want to be and are actually at the forefront of that. We specialise in education, and nobody else is doing that. A lot of nearly all the competition have products for consumers, so people at home, but with a very narrow set of applications.
Okay, so now that the VR is a technology, it has